think it's important to be financial literate, right? Is because as Black people, years we have been excluded from these conversations, excluded from these accounts, such as the things that I have said, and excluded from methods of wealth building, such as home ownership, such as stock market, right? Even for me as a woman years ago, we couldn't even open our own account, right? So for financial literacy, it's a way of life, but isn't a way of making your life as abundant as possible because now you have control, you have knowledge, and this knowledge is for you. This is the knowledge that wasn't shared. It was against the law to even read, right? And I think it's powerful because once you have the knowledge, you have the methods, and it's up to you to take it and to reach the wealth building life that you want. And wealth is not always necessarily money, you know, it's making your life as easy as possible, stress free as possible. Because most times, a lot of people have a lot of issues when it comes to money, a lot of issues when it comes to making money, or at least keeping money, investing money. It always comes back to money. But most times is a lack of control. You don't have control of your money. It also comes down to not having control of your life. So financial literacy is having control of your life and creating a life that you desire, a life that you care for, an abundant life with your family and your friends. And that's wealth. To me, that's wealth.
Wow. Yeah, that's good. Being smart about your money. And then we've been talking about 401ks. So for someone who, investing on their 401k, how can they leverage that to get a loan and then use that loan to buy a home?
Yes, yes. So I actually have a YouTube video regarding to this 401k. I use my 401k loan, 401k to get a loan in order to put a down payment on my first home, which I am in now. So this was back in 2020 when I purchased my home here in Florida. So it's very, it's not as difficult as people may think when you're talking about a loan for your 401k. And I know it's a little bit against the cardinal rule of finance, right? Don't take loans out. Don't touch your retirement account. Yeah. But I always thought that you're saving this money, but you also can leverage this money to buy other assets, right? And that's what I did. So for me, I used at a time with my employer, I took a loan against my 401k. And I took that 401k loan to put a down payment on my first home. Simple papers, sign on. And a lot of companies, depend on your retirement employer administration, they have stipulations, right? So my stipulation was I have to pay the loan off in 5 years. That was my only stipulations. And I know there may be other stipulation for other employers or the administration is if you leave the employer, you have to completely pay the loan off. That wasn't in my case. I know there may be some in other cases, but I always push people to make sure you read those rules, read those stipulations, because although I used that loan to purchase my home, I actually left that employer, but I was still responsible to pay for that loan that I'm almost done paying for now. Thank gosh. I'm almost done paying for it now. So so it's actually a great opportunity for those who have access and who has a nice little nest egg, right? And they want to purchase a home. I think it's a great opportunity to do so, but make sure you read the fine lines. Make sure you read the fine lines.
Wow, that's good. That's good. So you have a 401k, you leverage that to get a loan. Make sure you read the lines so you know what you're getting.
What you're getting into, exactly. Make sure.
And then you can buy your first home and and have your own place. That's great. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
So for someone who want to invest, how do you start investing?
I call myself the 9 to 5 CEO. that's that's how I label myself. It's an
Good.
identity crisis, however you want to call it. That's what I call myself, the 9 to 5 CEO. But that name actually comes from just my experience being a young professional, being a millennial, first generation Haitian American, and with the height of social media and entrepreneurship, right? I think there's such a push for you have to own your own business. You have to do this. You have to start, you have to, got to make money, revenue in all these sources of income, which is not bad. But I think sometimes people forget there's other options. Nothing's wrong with having a 9 to 5, right? There's a lot of benefits to having a 9 to 5. And one of those benefits is having a 401k retirement account. The thing that entrepreneurs do not speak about is they don't have the plan matching. Your employer is not giving you, free money on the table. It's something that they have to contribute themselves, right? But when you are in a 9 to 5 position, then most likely, if your employer offer it, most likely there is some form of plan match. Even though if there's not, it's still okay for you to use that because it helps you on a tax saving. So I always tell people start where you are. Don't allow it to get complicated. It's not rocket science. Don't allow it to get complicated. Start where you are. Look into your employer benefits. Most likely, if it's a big organization, they have an employer retirement account. Look into that and see what is the plan match? What is the percentage? How much money can I put in and they'll give me free money, right? What's the plan match? And I think you should start there. So use the vehicles and accounts that you do have and just start contributing money. The earlier you start, the better. You don't want to get into your late 50s and 60s and have not saved anything because those 2 decades, like I mentioned earlier, go by really fast. Those 20s and 30s go by really fast. So it's best to utilize and optimize your time as much as possible. So start where you are, use your employer 401k.